One. Hi, folks. You are watching and listening to a very special edition of Open Bar. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Charley Harris with Tequila Gran Diamante. I'm out here in Glendale, California.
Beautiful downtown Glendale.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Where the surf meets the turf. I love it. It's so refreshing to be able to conduct an interview with a guy in the same time zone as me, because
crazy, right?
I have another one scheduled, and it's like 3 hours on the East Coast, and it's like, oh man, I gotta. If you folks are not familiar, Charley Bottles, you can follow him on Instagram. He has his own Instagram. He is one of the brand owners and probably one of the more passionate spokesperson of this tequila. Gran Diamante. I know you've seen this before. It's all over Instagram and Facebook and all over the internet. And I got to tell you, he's a Brand of Promise. I believe you're a Brand of Promise winner and nominee as well. And the cool part is they also graced our June 2021 cover on Tequila Aficionado magazine. So, by the way, you can get these copies. They're all available on Instagram, on Amazon. Sorry, if you missed this issue, but it's beautiful. They just got. I can't tell you when I fell in love with this, and then when I found out that your distillery is actually pretty small. You guys didn't go. How did that come about? How did you get involved with all the guys?
It's actually a pretty it's a larger distillery. I'd say it's like fourth or fifth largest in that region. It's a Compañía Tequilera de Aranda. So the Aranda's tequila company.
Yeah.
So how did we? What the question was? How did we get involved with those guys?
Yeah. Well, how did you? First of all, let me ask you this: why tequila? Why did you? I know that there's you have a couple of partners involved. I'm not exactly sure what the number is now. I think it's like two other.
It's three of us: Rafi Anush and David. Why can't I even think of David's?
No, we blank out like that too. Thanks, David. David actually, he was the one that kept. He was the go-between.
He's gonna kill me when he sees it. He's gonna.
We'll think of it later.
David Ayala. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Just tequila has been, for me personally. I come from the hospitality industry, so spirits was always it was my business. And tequila was probably my number one. Still, it's my number one. Yeah, I just.
How did you fall in love with it though? I mean. You can't. It's got to have happened before the hospitality part of your life.
No, because I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know. I was very. What's the word? I was an idiot when it comes to tequila. I was the guy. I was in college. Go to Mexico, drink tequila. Thinking the worm is on the bottom and it's not even. So it wasn't until I got into the hospitality industry and I started to try some of the better tequilas out there and just kind of falling in love with the spirit all in all. And then just trying to educate my palate, so to speak. I met a couple of people in the industry, and then it kind of grew from there. Met some of the guys that owned a couple other brands. They introduced me to the distillery, Master Catador, Gilberto Yasso out there in Arandas, and it kind of grew from there.
And he is your master distiller, correct?
Master distiller, yes.
Because I am familiar with another Maestro Catador who is actually one of my mentors, and has his own tequila, and really. I think the two of them know each other, and he was very happy to see this brand take off.
Who's that?
That's Felipe Sotomares, and his
good friend
his tequila is the bad stuff.
Dude, that's a great guy. He's actually a mentor of mine. He taught me a lot about the brand. I mean, about the spirit, and he kind of got me got me going into the industry. Introduced me to Gilberto and Don Nico, the owner of the Distiller.
Yeah, those are the same names that everybody keeps throwing around when I talk to Felipe. So, in fact, we had dinner with him in December. When you folks are seeing this is 2021, but it could be March by the time you see this. But it's okay, because I'm glad that that we finally get a chance to. We've communicated, on email off and on. You guys, yeah. I mean that's why they we tasted their juice. It's delicious. If you haven't seen those videos, folks, they're on YouTube. Just punch in Gran Diamante, and they're all three varietals. Now you have the Blanco Reposado, which is the one I'm drinking here, and the Añejo. What are the plans for extra Añejo? Any plans at all?
Extra Añejo should we're looking. Don't hold me to this, but we're looking Cinco de Mayo of this year to launch that extra Añejo. It's going to be it's a 4-year extra Añejo.
Oh
my gosh, I can't even me talking about it. It's not doing any justice. You open the cork and the aroma fills the room. It's beautiful.
Wow. Well, I want to raise my hand now. I want us to be one of the first to actually sample. If you don't mind.
Brand of promise for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. You guys qualify. So far, what I love about the brand is the quality and the detail. I mean, look at this cap. This is, I don't know if you can see that clearly, and it's kind of a sunny day in here, but this is the Aztec calendar. I mean, who designed this? Did you all three put your heads together and just design this bottle? I mean, this is a very unique looking bottle.
We all kind of put our thumbprint on it. The design came from a close friend of ours, and I would probably put more Rafi as far as getting that bottle to what you're seeing now. He put a lot of effort in it. He literally we didn't want to release it until we had that bottle perfect. So,
because it looks, what I like is it. I love the frosted glass. I've always been a big fan of frosted glass. I think the vodka industry was the first ones to come out with bottles of the frosted glass, and then, and then your attention to detail. I mean, my gosh, you got diamonds carved into this cork, the topper, the stopper.
Yep.
You've got. I don't know if this was intentional, but for those of you guys who watch, who if you scroll through Instagram, you see a lot of models, and they do a lot of these bikini shots, right? I mean, I haven't been able to get the right selfie. I don't know how they do it, okay? but this really does remind you of a young lady, reclining. But I don't know if that was intentional or if that's just to hold on to it because it's an easy pour.
All the above. All the above. And then if you look at the bottom. Is the pyramid? Well, I say pyramid on the bottom.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
See, I hadn't noticed that. Oh my God, there is not a space that's empty of it, except for maybe the sides that are smooth. But even the back.
Yep.
That's how long did it take you guys to design this bottle?
To get it to where you see now, man, we went a lot. It was a lot of ups and downs, making sure that we can find the right manufacturer to get that done. It took about a year, to make sure we got it right. It's not easy. It's custom made. We got a U.S. international patent on it. It's not an easy bottle to make. So we the components alone, you have the glass, but then you also have the cap, you have the collar, you have the front plate, you have the little button. It's just a lot of it. And like I said, I gave it all to Rafi on that end because he has attention. He pays attention to detail. He loves details.
I noticed that in some of the communication we had in the last couple of years. He's very very detail oriented, which was great because it makes working mutually a whole lot easier.
Right.
So exactly in the company, your position is.
We wear a lot of hats in the business, but my main focus is on sales and a little bit of marketing.
Okay. Okay, and Rafi, I guess, is the overseer of the whole
He's
thing.
overseer, CEO. He does a lot of the back end stuff, and then David does a lot of the marketing.
Okay. Now, I mean, I don't know if you can talk about this. If you can't, it's okay. I know that in the past, there was a, with any brand that has this much attention to detail, and it's
Yep.
not just a pretty bottle, folks. This juice is got pedigree. Okay,
Yep.
there are master catadores, master distillers who are involved in the making of this juice. So it's not just a pretty bottle. Okay, it's actually really great juice. So, but I know that stuff like this isn't cheap. In my 20 some odd years of doing the consulting and watching the industry, and having people mentor me who have been in the industry longer than me, I realize that stuff like this isn't cheap. So how is it going with are you folks actively seeking investors? Are you
Yeah, we're definitely actively seeking investors this year. We launched in Cinco de Mayo of 2020, right in the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, right smack in the middle of the pandemic. And it was funny stories because our launch, the way we wanted to launch it was we were going to focus more on the on-premise restaurants and bars, nightclubs, and what have you.
So did everybody else.
Yeah, we knew what happened. You guys know what happened.
Yeah.
So we had a pivot, and we focused more on off-premise, and we started to tackle a lot of the small mom and pops and some of the big box liquor stores in California. And I think from I say the first 7 months, we locked in about 150 off-premise locations up and down from Sacramento all the way down to San Diego. So we were on the grind. We were definitely on the grind. And then this past year, 2021, we took it up a notch. That we got some of the on-premise started to open up. So we're looking at it now in California alone, and we are self-distributed for right now. Any distributors listening?
Well, in California, some states you're allowed to be the importer and the distributor. So yeah, I know every state's got some weird alcohol laws, and California, it seems to be more friendlier to startup brands.
For sure. We're looking at about 300 on and off premise locations in California, where you can pick up our spirit.
How many states are you in right now?
California is the only one, but we're getting ready to open up to the nation. We're probably going to go Texas, Arizona, New York, and Florida, and hopefully Illinois.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Those are all the hot spots.
Those are the hot spots.
But I wouldn't, one of the things that I've seen.
California is the home, is our home, and our goal is to win home first and go everywhere else.
Yeah, well, that's really the strategy that every brand needs to, in any state needs to really concentrate on. Is you got to, because any big distributors, the first thing they're going to ask you is how are your sales in your own home state?
Exactly.
So what's the projection for you guys? I'm barring any weird spikes in COVID, what are the projections for this year as far as the states that you're going to be in? I mean, all the ones you mentioned you're all going to open up.
We'll definitely be in Nevada, and we'll definitely be in Texas, and New York. Those 3 states for sure for 2022. I promise you that.
Oh, excellent. Are you available anywhere online that people can look for?
You can actually go on to our website, www.tequiladiamante.com, and you can go and you can actually buy directly from the website.
Cool.
In certain states, we got about 40. I think it's about 40 states, 40 out of the 50 states. I think. Oh, I'm lying. 38 out of the 50 states.
Yeah, because the other ones are control states, and
Yeah.
or like Massachusetts or Rhode Island. Where you
Right.
can't send anything out there.
Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia. Yeah, I know. I actually have one of our. We have like 12 tasters throughout the U.S. and one in the U.K. now, and we're still growing as far as we call them TJs, like the tequila jockeys, and those guys are great. Every time I do a tasting, I learn something new because all I have, you come from a hospitality background, so you probably have a much wider palate than I do. Mine has been nothing but agave spirits, and I got my hands full just with that. I know very little about bourbon and whiskey, and some of these guys are a little bit more versed. So it's kind of fun for me to do these tastings. And I have one poor guy, he's in West Virginia, but we still managed to get him stuff.
Yeah.
And I have another gentleman, another taster in Ohio that is notorious for, it's a control state and very bad selection that even Ohioans complain about not having enough tequila selection.
Tequila selection.
Yeah.
I think that's changing though. I think the United States is starting to understand and grasping what it is, what tequila really is. I know before, years ago, it was just taking shots of Patron and here and there and not really knowing what you're drinking. I think a lot of people are educating themselves these days to what it is. And
yeah,
I think that's where we come in.
Well, that's what we've seen in the last, especially heavily in the last 10 or 12 years, I think.
Yeah.
I know that in 2000, 2001, the tequila industry started to want to upgrade its image.
Yeah.
From a shooter to a sipper, and that's when the Riedel glass came in, and it was a really conscious campaign to upgrade the image of tequila, and guys like you and brands like yours has taken the ball and run with it, and we've been. For us at Tequila Aficionado, it's always been about education. We've been harping about that, and I think it's finally paying off. I mean, after a decade or so, right? People are finally getting it, right?
That's where we really wanted to come in when we entered the market. We knew we had a cool bottle. We knew we had a cool design. We wanted to get the product out there, but we wanted to make sure that the juice was just as beautiful as the bottle, and because at the end of the day, the bottle's going to get off the shelf. The juice is what's going to get them to come back for more. So, I think we did it. I think we did a great job doing so.
Yeah. Now, the marketing that I've seen, and I can probably point some of that out in the magazine. Yep. You've got you're kind of gearing the brand to a what people like to call a lifestyle brand.
Exactly.
So how successful has that plan worked for you guys?
It's worked. It's worked up to this point. This 2022, we're getting ready to really up our marketing and get the lifestyle out there. We want to make sure that I see our brand, and if you go to a lot of the on-premise or off-premise locations in California, you see our brand next to 1942, Clase Azules, and brands of that nature. And we want to make sure that we carve out our place in the ultra premium category. So doing so, we want people to, when they see our bottle, I want them to think, oh, or they see our ads, I want them to be like, oh, that's what I want to drink. That's what I want. This is New Year's, the New Year's party. What should we drink for New Year's? Tequila Gran Diamante, Añejo, Reposado, Plata. So
which one's your favorite?
My favorite is the extra Añejo, but that's out right now is the Añejo, definitely.
Really?
And I drink it neat.
Oh, okay. Well, is that what you're drinking now, or is that just?
Right now, I'm drinking Plata right now.
Oh, okay.
Also neat.
That's good. I fell in love with it because it was, the bottle was intriguing, but like you said, bottom line is that the juice has to be good, otherwise, and the source the Blanco is always the one that you judge the rest of the line to, you know. So when the Blanco, we fell all over ourselves with that Blanco, and then the rest of the line progressed after that. So I'm really excited to see what this extra añejo is going to be like. So
the extra, man, it's so good.
Tell people what you said when I don't know if you were off camera when you said it, but you said you popped the cork open on the extra añejo, and what happens?
So we pop the cork off the extra añejo, the aroma literally fills the room. You will smell it. You can stand across the room and you will be able to smell it. You'll look around like, what is that? What's that smell? Amazing.
Is it aged in a particular barrel? What kind? Do you know what kind of barrel it's in?
French oak, virgin French oak.
Okay. Oh, virgin French oak. Okay.
Virgin French oak.
Okay. So, all right. Cool.
So our añejo and our extra añejos is virgin French oak. Our reposado is rested in those barrels for 8 months. We have a traditional reposado, so it's 8 months rested in French oak.
Okay. That's what I was tasting last night. Yep. Again, I had to revisit it because it's been a year, since I've had any, and so I popped this. You guys were nice enough to send one, and it was like, oh yeah, I remember why I liked it now. I had to look back into some of my notes, and so how did the three of you come together? How did you meet? That's always intriguing to me because how did you figure out that you guys could all work together?
It was me and Rafi. We were working on another project, and we came together during that. He brought me to the side. He said, "Hey, I want to do this tequila," and he said, "You want to get on?" He showed me the design and everything, and I said, "Let's do it." I might know some people that can get us in the right direction, so we can actually get some real good juice and not just white label it, but actually, just do it ourselves. Let's put our thumbprint on the taste, and then so we went forward with that, and then later, as we started to get to closer to launching, David came along. Him and Rafi come from the same industry. In Hollywood, and I think we did an event in Hollywood with Beyonce and Jay-Z, and we did it was a crazy event, and we were just a hit. We were a hit in that event. They loved it. They loved the brand. They loved everything we were doing.
Well, so let me ask you. I know that there's a big to do. There's a big ruffle up and about celebrity brands,
right?
And I in my discussions with other brand owners of other brands, they've said I've had had they been approached by other celebrities, and they said, yeah, one in particular that I can think of said he actually turned down Pitbull.
Oh yeah.
and I said, oh, you said no to Armando? Who says no to Pitbull? When Pitbull calls you and says, "Hey, I want to do an album with you," you say, "Yes, please." But he had the guts to say no and to stick to his zone of genius. Okay, so and that's cool. They're still friends, and then I think Pitbull found another really great brand that we loved here. And hopefully that will continue. But so are you guys after that event? I mean, if you're hooked up in the Hollywood situation there, has there been any feelers like, hey, are you guys looking for a
There's feelers out there, but our brand it's a brand that's built to last. A lot of celebrity brands, and I'm not knocking celebrity brands, but I can't see them being around after a certain time. I think some of the brands that are staples. I think our brand, the 1942s of the world, the Bad Stuff, all those brands. Those are real tequila brands. So if we were to bring on a celebrity, it would be, as a business partner, they had to be a connoisseur. They have to love the brand, and there definitely wouldn't be the face of the brand, because the way we see it, the face of the brand for us are the consumers.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that now see that I liked that because you don't hear that. You know, there was another brand that recently has had again a delicious brand that we've nominated as brand of promise. We've had it. I've been able. I had a chance to interview the CEO 2-3 years ago, probably 4 years ago now, and they had. I guess I'll mention him just because he's in the news right now. One of the investors that they acquired, I don't know how, because it wasn't in there. It wasn't in the plans, I guess. When Chris Noth became the face and an investor in Ambar Tequila, and now look where that is.
Yeah.
And I really like what you said. You know, you're not getting them in as an investor is one thing, but getting them to be the face of the brand, that you really, you know, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you never know who's going to dig up what junk from 20 years ago, and the next thing you know, all that traction.
Yeah.
Because it's a valid tequila. It still is a valid tequila, but you get the splashback.
And with the cancel culture in those countries, all of the world is about these days, it's a thin line. You want to, like, it makes sense, but it doesn't. And we've done well without a celebrity. We've done well without a celebrity. We've done well without a national distributor. And we kind of doing our thing right now. It's trying to grow from there organically.
I love that, though. The customer is the face of the brand. Oh my God, you guys can have a whole marketing campaign just built around that.
Yes.
That's beautiful because then you talk about. I know there's another. You guys will know when I mention this slogan. The brand of the tequila of the people. Okay, yeah. But are they really? Because it's really not. It's the tequila of the brand owner, but to have a real, to have the customer be the face of the brand, that's beautiful. And there are very, very few brands that are taking that approach.
Right.
I can think of a handful. I applaud you for that. I think that's great. So now that I know right now this is early January. We're seeing a little bit of a spike in the COVID thing. So what, as far as live events and things like that in California, how is that? You don't necessarily have to pivot.
We have some events coming up. Obviously, some Super Bowl events. Super Bowl is always big for us every year. What other? Just a couple events we made touchdown in Vegas. We do a couple things in Vegas. Prepare for our launch in Vegas. I don't think we're slowing down as far as doing events and whatnot. But I'm trying to think of what's a big one that's coming up besides Super Bowl. Obviously, the launch of the extra Añejo, if we can do it on Cinco de Mayo, that's going to be huge. I think a lot of the spikes, the COVID stuff is gonna fizzle out once the weather gets a little better. So, yeah,
I think so too. It actually it's just a feeling. I'm not a scientist, so I have no idea. But this is all about the whatever spikes we're getting is because of the holidays and people like that, things like that. But
the flu's going on,
yeah, and you got the flu on top of that, and then you don't know if you have a cold or the flu or the flu-rona or whatever they're calling it.
I tell everybody when you go get tested, don't tell them your symptoms, just get tested. See what happens.
let them figure it out, right?
Yeah, let them figure it out.
Oh my gosh.
Don't give them the answer to the test.
So now that you have the brand and you've got some traction, what do you want people to know about it? I mean, when you do, because you obviously are the boots on the ground, sounds like. So what sort of challenges do you run into as technically you're still a brand new brand,
It's tough dealing with some of the customers because we're a new brand. We self-distribute, so it's tough to get into some doors because obviously tequila is like it's the top of the market right now as far as all spirits go. So to come into a on-premise location or an off-premise location, you have another tequila, they're probably getting seen by like 2 or 3 other new tequilas a day, and you have to set yourself apart. And I feel like our bottle by itself will get some.
Not everybody's on a cover of a magazine, boys and girls. Everybody wants to be on the Rolling Stone cover, man. And you know what? We're it.
Tequila Aficionado.
So, you know, I've had other brands tell me that this has really opened a lot of doors for them, and that's what we intended. You know, we want this because you know, you guys look at the inside cover. Look at that. That's the same as the front cover.
I promise for us our first awards that we won in 2021. We got the platinum. We got the platinum on our plata right here. Yeah, that was amazing. I was so psyched when that happened. I was like, what? I love it. So
yeah, you know, well, you deserve it. I mean, you know, again, what happens with a lot of these award ceremonies, these contests, is that, you know, it's all blind. Okay, yeah. It's all blind. They don't know what they're tasting. You know, with us, for us, brands have to qualify. So I revet them. You know, we know what the pedigree is. We know this is a brand with pedigree. You know, like I said, we're open-minded. You know, throw me a bottle, you know, whatever the name is, it doesn't matter. If there's a celebrity in front of it, I don't care. Yep. You know, because like you said, at the end of the day, the juice has got to match.
It has to. It has to.
Do you find it frustrating when you see other brands where I know for me, I see you know, you have great ownership, a great bottle, and the juice sucks, or you have great juice, you know, you have crappy owners and the marketing is nowhere, you know.
And that bothered me, and that was my thing that I told Rafi. I was like, if we're going to do this, like, we have to make sure the juice and the bottle match. It's something like we go down to Mexico and you see some of the best tequilas in the world. Obviously, are there. Marketing is not a big thing for them. They get a lot of boutique brands. They might get like 2,000 bottles, and then you'll never see it again. But to some of the best tequilas you ever tasted, and then you come to the States, you'll see awesome packaging, terrible juice, horrible juice, and you're just like, what is this? And we wanted to bring both. Like, I wanted the packaging to knock just when you see it out on the shelf, what is that bottle? I want to taste that. What is that? You know what I mean? Take it home, drink it. You love it. You come back for more because the juice it's a home run.
Yeah.
It's a home run.
It is. You guys swung for the fences, and as far as I'm concerned, you know, you guys were grand slam. You know, that was. Now, are you going to do any events like? I know you do sporting events, right? How about anything with baseball or golf, or you know, or even NASCAR? I just don't see this as a NASCAR thing. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's really NASCAR. I would go more Formula One. I would like to do some.
Oh, there you go.
To be pretty possible.
Oh, Australian Open, you know, Wimbledon. Oh, okay.
Yeah, basketball, football, baseball, all that stuff is in the future, definitely.
All-Star Game, LA this year.
Yep. NBA All-Star.
The Super Bowl is in SoFi Stadium this year, isn't it?
Is it?
I thought isn't it here at SoFi?
I think it is.
Oh, so right. You don't have to go far.
Yeah, we don't go far at all. That's David's lane though. So David has some good stuff lined up for us for Super Bowl and NBA All-Star. So we'll be doing some good stuff going on pretty quick here.
Good, excellent. Now, okay, so you said that there was a lot of challenges when you do the face. Are you doing a lot of your own tasting yourself? I mean, you take.
I have four sales reps here in California. They have huge territories. Also good out on in the field myself. We do as many tastings as we can. What's
the normal objection you get when you do these face-to-face, tastings?
The normal objection would be we don't have space. I love your tequila, but we don't have space. We have too much inventory. We have too much inventory.
Which is really weird when you see the numbers from last year and the year before, where everybody there's an añejo shortage. What do you mean you don't have space? What are you talking about?
It makes no sense. But usually when they taste it, it blows them away. The pricing for our añejo it's very competitive because you can see you have where we're sitting 1942 Clase Azules, Cigoros, those brands are up top in the top shelf. They're sitting at maybe mid 150, 160. We're now at our añejo's $94.99. So it's worth every penny, folks. Exactly.
I was going to ask you about that. Where's your pricing now? I mean, for the line so far.
We're looking Plata's $59.99, Reposado's $64.99, and then Añejo's $94.99. Those are suggested retail. This is sometimes have more, have a little higher than others, but that's kind of where we're sitting right now.
Where in San Diego are you? Because I'm thinking of one in particular. I don't want to mention it if you guys aren't available there.
In Orange, and what you said in San Diego?
Yeah.
What's the name of that place? Like, why can
tell me if it's Old Town Tequila.
It's Old Town, yeah. Old Town Tequila. Definitely.
Thank you. Because I know Zach, and he wants it all, If you've ever been to that place, Old Town Tequila, it's in Old Town, San Diego, and you'll probably never hear him say, "I don't have room."
Oh yeah, he stacks on top, stacks and the stack. He does. Hey, that guy. There's so much tequila there. It's crazy. It's a connoisseur's Toys R Us.
yeah. It's Mecca really for tequila, and it requires a good visit.
Yeah.
Just to it's like going into to me it's like going to the Library of Congress. It's like, wow, hey, it's because every tequila is there, and if it's not, it's in a bin somewhere.
I think they have a small area for whiskey and vodka. Like a small area.
Now, because you guys are self-distributing, is there are you looking at distributing other products to go with it, or is it strictly just your brand, your tequila?
Other brands, like other people's brands.
No. Other whiskeys,
spirits.
Things like that. Yeah, other spirits.
Well, we're definitely looking. Us personally looking for maybe getting into some other agave spirits, maybe a mezcal or a raicilla. We would do something around that. But yeah, that could be in there. That could be in the near future as well. So especially raicilla. I'm new to the raicilla. I love.
Oh, don't you just love it? Which ones were your favorite? Which ones have you had?
I can't name the brand. We just tried. What's the tip of my tongue?
Raicilla de Una is one that I remember. La Reina Raicilla.
La Reina, yes.
La Reina. Did you go to that? They had an event in at the end of last year. Did you go to that? I wanted to go, and I just, Yeah,
I went to that event. It was I loved it. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
There's some really great raicillas on the market. The first one that we had ever tasted was Estancia, which is much more fruitier than. Yeah, La Estancia is the first raicilla that we had, and it comes in like a 375. And the one that we went bananas over last year in our 2021 Brands of Promise winners, Balam Raicilla. That is some old school stuff, man. I'm telling you, you see a picture of the master distiller. He really does look like a moonshiner, but the juice is so good and so elegant that it's completely the other direction.
Yeah.
Because it's like velvety, it's creamy, and it's like, oh my God.
I say it's in between a mezcal and a tequila, or somewhere in between there. Not too smoky. Like it's amazing. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, I've seen them on Instagram as well, and they have a very interesting process. That it's an above ground adobe oven, and that's how they bake it. So tell me about the process. I know you've been to the distillery, obviously. What is the process for Gran Diamante? What? First of all, the plants that you're using are how. I'm assuming that the distillery has its own
Mature.
fields as well.
Yeah, yeah. The in Los Altos, the fields are in Los Altos. We do mature plants, 8 years and above, before they're harvested.
Wow.
So we use autoclave autoclave ovens.
Okay.
Uh, so from what I've learned is the autoclave to have a valve so it releases the steam so it can slow cook it in the autoclave oven for about 14 hours before.
So it's fairly slow cooked.
Vat, yeah, open vat. And then,
Oh, open vat fermentation.
yes, yes, sir.
Do you use a special like a special yeast, like champagne yeast, or just let it do? No, it's actually that's a technique. You know, I mean, there are other distilleries that use that. There's a couple of master distillers that's their stamp. I mean, that's their
It's a strain. It's a strain. Open vat is strained a strained yeast. But as far as like a special yeast, I don't know that.
No, that's cool because, for instance, I know that Tapatio, and La Alteña, they have their own proprietary yeast that they produce from their own plants. Yeah. And that makes, again, all those little bits and pieces, they come up with this really, because that's what happened with you piece it together, but it's in a nice flow, and so I know that's probably what they're doing at your distillery there. So you're using exclusively French oak, correct?
Exclusively French oak.
Why the French oak? Why didn't you go with use bourbon, whiskey?
For me, it's a cleaner taste. The virgin French oak, never used barrel. I know a lot of people use the whiskey barrels, American oak. I think even there's some other brands from our distillery that use old wine barrels.
Yeah.
I think Lobo 1707 uses the wine barrels, which is cool. I just think that for me the taste is cleaner with the French oak. I love the French oak. So that's kind of where we went with that as far as that one goes.
How many samples did you guys wind up going through? I mean,
we went back and forth for months, going back and forth, trying to make sure it was just right. Even with the extra añejo, we went back and forth for 6 months trying to make sure, hey, this is tweaking just a little bit, just do this a little bit.
It's not ready yet.
Yeah. We wanted to make sure that the extra añejo comes in and strong. It's just as strong as the añejo. So.
Okay. So now when you guys do your tastings, let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
How long did it take you to get the brand to market? I mean, I have heard stories of it takes anywhere between. Just recently, I heard a young lady tell me it took her 20 months, which is like the fastest I've ever heard. Because most of the time, it's paperwork on both sides of the border. It's like 2 years to 5 years.
The TCV, it took. We started in 2016. We launched in 2020.
So it took you 4 years. Wow.
It took about 4 years, but what it really was is we wanted to get that bottle perfect and the juice perfect. So we didn't want to launch. We didn't want to bring it out until it was ready to go.
Wow.
You only come out once.
Well, that's true. Well, but here's the thing too. In the couple of decades that I've been doing this, I have seen brands where for some reason it's a lot of fits and starts. Like they have to start over, or all the traction that they gained. That they lost it because, I don't know, infighting between the owners, or they had to switch distillery, or a pandemic. A pandemic just shook a lot of stuff out, And I realize, having been in the business, you guys were in the pipeline for 4 years. So when you're going to launch, you're going to launch. You can't. It's not like NASA where you can go, oh no, it's the weather's bad or whatever. You just got that button's been pressed.
Ready to go. Yeah, we're ready to go. Pandemic was the only thing that got in our way. We didn't let it get in our way. We kind of just moved forward. At that point, we had everything we needed. We had the juice. We had the packaging. We had everything. So even the pandemic wasn't going to stop us from going. You know what I mean? I think alcohol sales went up 50% on off premise. So it was just a pivot and getting out there and talking to the liquor store owners and getting in front of their faces and giving them another option, something else that they can present to their customers, and they loved it. Places like Remedy and Mission Liquor and Old Town Tequila, they were there. They were up for the challenge. They looked at, they loved what we were presenting. They loved the group, and we just kept going.
That's so cool. That's so. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know we touched on it earlier. You said we're a brand that's going to last. You want to. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you guys all? Because I know you got projections, but I mean, as far as goals go,
I see this being the go-to tequila at that point. That number one. You go out to the liquor store, you go out to the clubs, and you order. You're looking for bottle service. That's what we see us. Bottle service, the lifestyle. When you think about drinking tequila, I want people to walk up. I want tequila Gran Diamante. Instead of saying tequila, I want them to say tequila Gran Diamante. That's their goal. I mean, I want the Diamante. So it's going to take marketing.
Well, that's interesting. I love your point of view where the people are the face of the brand. That's, to me, this is my takeaways from this interview. And the second thing is you want people to mention it by name.
Yes.
You want them to go to Vegas or LA, and what can I get me? And somebody says, oh, tequila. No, you want them this, because most people say, I want Patron, right?
That's what this is. Exactly.
I've had people ask, I've been behind bars, and I'm not a bartender, but I've been, in my travels, I've been asked to stand behind a couple of bars in Chicago and other places. And I go, are you sure it's legal? Because I'm not licensed to do anything,
Yep.
No, but they want me to talk, basically. And I've heard people come up to a bar and say, what do you have that's just as good as Patron?
Yep.
And if you're a great bartender and you're a great purveyor, a brand owner of a location, you say everything. and I've actually had this guy say everything. This particular gentleman in Chicago, in Illinois, they wouldn't even put Patron on the shelf. They had one underneath the counter to show other customers that what they had on the shelf was way better than what they were requesting.
Right.
But that's just his mentality. But I love that you want people to voice the name.
I want people to know when they think of tequila, I want them to think about tequila Gran Diamante, kind of like Q-tip. You know what I mean? It's just it's the brand. It's like
Kleenex or Coke or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's.
So how did you come up? How did you come up with the name, though? Because you hear a lot of consultants who will say, don't name it in a name in Spanish that nobody can pronounce, because 80% of the tequila comes, 86%. I think that number is growing now. Comes into the U.S. and people don't speak Spanish. What did you how did you guys come up with the name? Is what I want to know.
It's diamonds. You know what I mean? How do you make a diamond? You apply pressure. And kind of that's how we became with the brand. It was so much the everything that we went through, everything that we've been through to get it to this point. It was a learning curve. We failed over again until you see what you see right now is the diamond. You see the perfection of everything we went through.
What sort of failures did you have on the journey to just launch?
getting the bottle made. We went through a lot of manufacturers. We had manufacturers that looked at the design and said, no, we can't do that. We had manufacturers that tried and said they failed and they couldn't get it right. And that's where we crashed and burned a couple of times. It's just the packaging, getting it right, getting it perfect.
Now, is this bottle being made in Mexico, or are the bottle manufacturers in the U.S., or where are you getting the reason I ask is because, there's a lot of supply chain, that's another after effect of COVID. A lot of companies are having a hard time getting glass.
Yeah.
So how's that affected you guys?
We've been fine. We've been good. We have a couple different manufacturers in a couple different countries, Mexico, other countries. So we have other different options. So it didn't affect us at all. The components are made in China. Bottles made in glass made in Mexico. So we've been fine. We've been good. We've been good.
Where does the stopper come from? This is really a unique stopper, folks. I don't even know. I know that there's been a couple of times where the bottling and the packaging is so beautiful that we've done separate sipping off the cuff episodes just on the marketing, on the packaging, because this is really look at the detail. Those are diamonds, folks. Those are diamonds up and down. I don't even know if you can see that on my camera.
Got the diamonds.
Where does this come from? Because it's and it looks substantial, but it's not very heavy. Because there are other brass stoppers. That are very substantial, heavy bottles. Heavy stoppers.
Yeah, China is where you got the components are made in China. So you'll see that the cork, the cap, the front plate, the collar on it. It's all the components are made there in China. And then the glass, Mexico.
Well, it's got an international feel to it, doesn't it? Any plans going offshore? Going to other countries? I mean, like China, for instance.
No, definitely. We're working on some stuff in just at Mexico by itself. Mexico, in somewhere places in Europe. I remember we won the competition, the Tequila Mezcal competition in London. So
that's a big one.
Yeah, we won. We got double gold out there. And
the UK, I'm telling you, UK. Those, what I love about people in the UK, and we have a taster in the UK. They love craft. They get it. They understand it. And it wasn't until I started talking to my taster there. We would talk off camera, because he's actually the most British person that I know, and he said that he's a musician part-time, and he said to me, I remember going to Tennessee, and I remember that trip because he asked me what he had communicated with me and said, what tequila should I get in Tennessee? And I told him, and he brought one back and he loved it, and he said while he was there in Tennessee, he was being toured through the city, and people were saying to him, this house has been here, for 100 years, and it's old and it's ancient. And he said, I'm laughing, he says, inside, because in the UK, we have the house that I live in, it's got to be at least 200 or 300 years old, because they're an older culture.
Yep.
Versus us, we're fairly new as a country, and that's why I love to see the Brits, because they understand what craft is all about. They're not about the marketing. They're really more about the juice inside, and but of course it takes education, because their own juice has been there for for hundreds of years.
The education of tequila, man, it's just people understanding to sip it and how to determine if it's a good tequila or not by trying the plata or the blanco first, and what should you be looking for, and if it's chilled, that it can hide some impurities in there, and things. Just people understanding that, and the salt lime situation. And
that's nobody does that anymore. I mean, and I think that what's going to happen is, at least the way I would look at it, and I haven't been to Vegas in a couple of years, is the big thing in Las Vegas is, of course, those pool parties. That becomes a big.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to be in on the pool party.
Yep.
That generation still shoots, or they mix it in cocktails. So do you foresee a challenge where you'll have to educate that group of young tasters to go, oh, wait, don't shoot that. No, wait, you got to try this first.
We do, but you know what I mean, they're going to do what they're going to want to do. You know what I mean? At the end of
Right. Well, I mean, you know, you don't tell them how to enjoy it, but you know, tell them to taste it first.
You know, like and is my biggest thing is I want the world to enjoy tequila the way tequila was meant to be enjoyed. That's obviously what I want. Okay. But we when we do some events, we do events where we bring in a mixologist.
Good.
A good guy, a good friend of mine. He does what's called tequila mezcal sessions, and he makes signature drinks with our tequila mixture. So
have you submitted any to Lisa, our managing partner, Lisa Peach? We have a cocktail. It's a cocktail edition of the magazine that we'll be putting out for National Margarita Day, and it's available to all of our brands of promise winners and nominees. Have you sent?
I didn't even know. We'll do that. We'll definitely.
Dude, please
we'll definitely do that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And
the cocktails that we do are amazing. I think he does one that has it's made with beet juice. Beet juice. It's
good.
Easy. It's
easy.
He does some good stuff. So we'll definitely do that.
If he wants to have you, if you're allowed to send us his picture as well and the recipe, do it. You know, because you guys qualify. We got it. That beet juice one sounds interesting.
Oh no, it's amazing. That's my favorite. I can't remember all the ingredients, but I know every time he makes it, it blows, man. It's
I gotta have that. You better send. If you're gonna send one recipe, you send that one, because Lisa's gonna scream at you if you don't. So you know, let me see how far we're into this, because there we go.
He also does a good old fashioned tequila with our tequila. Good old fashioned.
So is he gearing up for doing any cocktails with that extra añejo, even though it's probably hurt you?
We not yet, but I'm pretty sure he has some things up his sleeve. We just have to get to that point.
Because traditionally the extra añejo, you sit neat after dinner. You know that it's not, because of the price points. Usually you don't want to mix those.
Don't want to mix it. It's and our extra añejo is that good that it would just be a waste to mix it with something. You kind of want it. The people that are going to drink the extra añejo are connoisseurs. They have a distinguished palate, and they're going to want to drink that neat and want to take in the aromas, the taste, and everything. You know what I mean? So I would think, me personally, would be a waste to put it. Our añejo, I don't even like putting our añejo in a mixture. So I think that's not what it's for. Reposado and plata all day, but my añejo, no.
I love how you take possession. My añejo. It's mine. I love this. Charles, this has been, I love hearing your perspective of especially, because we've known about the brand for a couple of years, and we've been excited for you guys, but we realize that not everybody has even heard of Gran Diamante. And I love your vision. I love the vision that you want people to actually mention it by name. And like I say, my head is spinning, because I'm going, oh, you guys could turn a whole marketing campaign just on that. But I'm excited for you guys, because here comes Las Vegas, and only good things can happen in Nevada. I mean, there are neighbors next door. I'm
excited about Texas.
Yeah, because
Texas.
well, we have now a network of I guess tequila influencers, and I've got a good taster. He is actually a recent graduate of our consumer catador course, as well as being a connoisseur. So when you guys are ready, let me know. We'll make the introductions, and he's the guy that you want to have him taste this stuff, because he's very conscientious, and his palate's right where it needs to be. This has been fun, man. Okay, so if you had one thing for the public out there, the people that are watching us, and they're watching us worldwide. I mean, we get like 186 countries. What do you want them to know about Gran Diamante? If you had one thing to tell them, what would it be? And I'm holding up the reposado, so.
One thing that I want them to know is when they pour that añejo, allow it to rest. Allow it to sit there and breathe for at least a minute to 2 minutes before you sip it. I promise you, you will love it. You will thank me. And you will keep buying it, especially when the extra añejo comes out to do the same thing. You'll love it.
What kind of glass do you use yourself? I know you like enjoying stuff out of your rocks glass, but when you do your tastings, when you were going through that, were you using a specific glass?
No. Usually we have to use because we go through so many. We use little plastic cups. So if we do something better, we have some sifter glasses specific for each. Some specific glasses that are geared towards the plata, the reposado, the añejos, things like that. But for the most part, we use a little small plastic. You know what I mean? Because we're going through.
Well, I mean, when you do your public tastings, that's
they're doing 3 or 4 tastings a day, and you know what I mean. It goes through a lot. So.
Yeah. No, what I meant was when you do, when you sampled you and Rafi and Dave, when you guys go through your tastings, you're using specific glasses, correct?
With specific glasses sometimes, but most of the time we're doing like the champagne glasses. We use some sifters, some rocks glasses. It just really depends on the tasting. It really depends on the tasting we're doing.
Yeah, because I know just from all the tastings we've done over the years, over the 22 odd years, the glassware really makes a difference. And even with the same juice, you could pour that same juice in another glass, and you get more stuff out of it.
You do.
So that's why I asked that question, because it's I remember seeing a picture of a celebrity brand, and he's got all his samples, and he's got this big boardroom table, and he's got all his boardroom people, right. and they got all the wrong glasses, man. How can you pick anything with that glass you're using?
We picked up some glassware. I can't remember. It's from Mexico. It comes in a long tube. It's specifically for plata, specifically for reposados, and specifically for añejos. We still have those. We do use those when we do tastings, like for like an event that we go to, like a special event, things of that nature. But yeah. Excellent.
Charley Harris, ladies and gentlemen, part of the brainchild, the trio of Gran Diamante. So if you see it out in the wild in Southern California and soon to be in Texas, maybe New York up there as well, ask for it by name. Okay, it's an easy name, Gran Diamante, great diamond. I think this would be great. This would be great at ski resorts, man. I want a double diamond. I want a black diamond.
There it is.
This is gorgeous. So ask for it by name. You can also, if you haven't picked up the cover, this is the June cover of 2021 of Tequila Aficionado magazine. They're on here as well. I think you and Rafi and Dave have answered some of our questions for profiles in agave spirits, and that'll be a who's who as well. And I'm sure Lisa has, if she hasn't, she will. Lisa Peach, our managing partner, will throw those chapters in here in the magazine. She'll serialize that as well. I want to thank you guys. I really do, because you were one of the first people to jump on board of the magazine, and I want to thank you guys for having faith in us.
Yeah.
And what we were, because again, like you guys, we were kind of flying by the seat of our pants, but it's turned out to be a wonderful experience with some great people behind the brands, and what it does for me and for Lisa and all the guys at Tequila Aficionado is that it confirms what we thought about the juice. If you like the juice and it's really impressive, reverse engineer it. Find out who's involved in it, who's making it. Talk to them. If you see Charley out on the street, and after you've seen this video, go up and say hi. Follow him on Instagram. It's under Charley Bottles, correct?
Charley Bottles. Charley Bottles. Yep.
Yeah,
And
and
the brand
this is the guy you want to talk to because I'm telling you, there's a substance behind the juice and behind the group. Again, and if you need to get in touch with Charley, you can do that through Instagram or ask us, hit us up, and or if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the notification bell. Give us a like because that helps us on the algorithm. And if you've had it before, leave a comment. Reach out to Charley, say hi, and how do we get it in other states? Because he's the guy. Because we get that a lot. How come I can't get it here in Peoria? I don't know. So, but So thank you, sir, for being with us on Open Bar.
I was definitely nervous. But you helped me with that a little bit. I was like, I don't know what to expect. This is gonna be fun.
You know what, man? This is what I love about what we do at Open Bar. Is that I want people to know that you're just a regular guy with a dream.
Yeah.
And you hooked up with a couple of other guys, and you guys are all focused. You're all looking in the same direction because you know as well as I do, and then we talked about this earlier. Great juice, great bottle, ownership, maybe not so much. They're infighting. The brand survives, but it's fits and starts, and then you're losing your traction. And it's bad enough already when we got a disease that's not helping any,
Everybody has to be on the same page. Yes,
absolutely. And these guys are on the same page. So look out for Gran Diamante wherever you're shopping. You can obviously get it at Old Town Tequila as well. They can ship to a lot of different states.
We'll be in Bevmo and what's the other place? Wine. What is that?
Total Wine?
Total Wine. We'll be in there by the second quarter of this year. So we'll be in those two. Anywhere in California. If you're in Glendale, you have Remedy Liquor. Mission, all those good places. You can go on the website and you can put in your area code and it'll tell you the closest location you can pick up a bottle.
Go pick it up, ladies and gentlemen, because there's only better stuff coming online. I can't. Please, when it's ready, I want that extra.
To you. No problem. I got you. I got you taken care of.
Thank you, sir. You have been watching and listening to a very special edition of Open Bar on all of our networks, on Tequila Aficionado Media, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, on our podcast. Please subscribe, as I said before. Go follow Charley Bottles on Instagram, and whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.